Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. With a commitment to clean up the police force and dismantle gangs, the Jamaica Constabulary Force arrested several gang members, including several policemen who are alleged members of the Ranko gang.
So today I wish to give an update on an investigation which the JCF commenced sometime in 2021. This investigation started when a series of robberies were reported, which caused us to suspect police involvement. As a consequence, the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, along with the Criminal Investigation Branch and other formations within the Jamaica Constabulary Force, conducted a joint investigation into alleged breaches of the Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organization Act, commonly called the anti-crime legislation. The investigation covered the period between 2019 and 2021 against members of the Ranko gang, which included police and civilian operating out of Clarendon. In June 2021, the police, acting on information, commenced investigation into a plot to kill David Henry, O.C. Kochi, a member of the gang accused of being an informer to the police. The plot was uncovered, which led to the fatal shooting by the police of Kevron Salmon, otherwise called Siva, who was second in command of this gang. 2 firearms were recovered from that incident. Constable Tafara Silveira, attached to the St. Andrew South Division, who is identified as the leader of the gang, along with Mark Burnett and Christopher Robinson, were charged with conspiracy to murder and are before the Clarendon Circuit Court coming out of that incident. Further inquiries into the operation of the gang revealed that between 2019 and 2021, the gang members committed several crimes across the parishes of Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, St. Catherine, St. Mary, Trelawney, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. James. These crimes include shootings, burglary, robbery with aggravation, illegal possession of firearms, abduction, shop breaking and larceny, unlawful possession of property, conspiracy to murder, and malicious destruction of property. So far, we have identified at least 17 incidents involving this gang. We have identified 27 members of the gang, which include at least 8 members of the security force, one of whom fled the island immediately after the arrest of Constable Silveira. This morning, the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Division branch, supported by the Clarendon Police, conducted several operations across the island, and the following members of the gang were arrested: Constable Teshneil Francis, O.C. Franco, Constable Danilo Barnes, Constable Roy Morris, David Henry, O.C. Kochi, Ovid Mackenzie, Nicholas Simpson, O.C. Nick, Tevin Enriquez, O.C. Drivey or Gadgets, Gary Oakley, Jacette Brown, O.C. Robadoc, Nicole Simpson, Tiffany Simpson. There are 3 additional accused already in custody who will join the above mentioned members in this anti-gang investigation. And they are Constable Silveira, which I referenced earlier on, Mark Barnett, and Christopher Robinson. These were involved in that conspiracy to murder charge. The police have the capacity and the will to investigate our own. And this investigation was not reported by citizens. It was a result of our own intelligence-led investigation. We would like to declare that we will be unbiased in our in our approach to any member of the society who run afoul of the law. Whether you're a pastor, a priest, a politician, or police, you will be apprehended, and as long as there is sufficient evidence, you will be prosecuted. We will continue to be resilient in our strategies and drive to engender crime reduction and control so as to keep our country on track to achieve one of our Vision 2030 targets, which is being a place of choice to live, work, raise family, and to do business. And we are also appealing to the following person to turn themselves into the police by Monday, the 28th of March 2022. Adrian Thompson, OC Fry of a Savannah address in Maypen. Courtney Simmet, OC Blade of Maypen Clarendon. Maya Gay Bent of Corn Peace District. Constable Floyd Robert Allen, OC Mucky. Juan, who works at one of the toll plaza. We have not yet ascertained exactly which one. Person with information can call Crime Stop at 311-811 or the coordination desk at the National Strategic Anti-Gang Unit at 876-333-9535. The individuals who were arrested today will go through a process or a procedure where they will be processed, they will be given an opportunity for their attorney to be present, and then we will take the investigation or we'll progress the investigation further. Thank you very much.
Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson provided several updates on the Constabulary's aggressive program of transformation.
So we're building and expanding infrastructure, but at the same time, just last week we went through our ISO 9001 audit for certification as an ISO 9001 organization. So you'll hear more about it in the coming weeks as that process continues. Hopefully, within a short time, your police force, your JCF, will be that organization, recognized internationally as a quality organization delivering quality services. When that happens, it's not an event, it's a journey. You're just starting. And you have to continue it, and you have to keep it up. It's ambitious, and it's important that when you step out to do big things, not just little things. And so it's ambitious, but we're going to get it done. I'm acutely aware that even as we do all of these things, there's this issue of guns, gunmen, and gangs, ever present, creating mayhem in our society, death and pain. And we never, as a JCF, can lose sight of that, and we never do. Because whereas it is in the public domain, for us it's very real and it's very present. Because we are the ones who wake up every single morning looking at that. And it informs how our day goes, what we have to do. Just this morning, I was with a family in Marvelly who are mourning the loss they had last night in a shooting and murder of some people in Marvelly. So we've deployed there, we're doing all kinds of operations there, and that is what that space requires, and we will continue to do that. That is gang violence, gun violence, and gunmen in action. The good thing is, we responded immediately. We actually had a running gun battle with them, with the criminals. They abandoned the car and escaped, but we have the car in our custody, and that we will apply the science that we have to that, and we will find them. As a matter of fact, already we have a good idea of who may have done it. We may not be able to stop everything, but we'll find you. And we are applying those technologies that we're implementing to the problem. I must say that with our campaign that we've been doing, in our communications campaign, our social media campaign, the reports into Crime Stop have increased by 72%. Massive changes is what we expect, which means we have a public that's coming on board with us They recognize that as much as we do and change and grow, we still need the public on board with us to get where we want to go. And so the public has responded very well. So I want to just thank any member of the public who has information, supports what we're doing, to close the space that these guns are in, that these gunmen are operating in, and that these gangs are trying to control. We also recognize that we have internal challenges in the organization as well. Some of our members get involved in the same criminality, the same corruption, so we can't be naive to that. So just this morning, we arrested 12 members of a gang as part of an ongoing gang investigation. Unfortunately, 4 of those persons arrested are our own members. A lot of officers, when this happens, they feel down because why would our members be involved in it? It doesn't. My point is this: it's the JCF arresting them, and it's the JCF ridding ourselves of elements in it that are pulling down all of us. And so as long as we do that, we're on the right path. That is what is important. We're a big organization, probably the biggest single organization in the Caribbean. In that, you'll have the good, the bad, and the others. We, as an organization, cannot rely on anybody else to root out our own problems. We will do it, and where required, we'll arrest our own members and put them before the courts. Outward focus, inward focus. Ultimately, rule of law is going to prevail. The first stop I made coming in was at a training session for our supervisory level leadership on domestic violence. The team from Trelawney was going through training here in St. James on domestic violence. In Trelawney, domestic violence, and in other places in the country, can easily transition into other crimes, into murder. That's what we've seen. Now, as a force, we've had to respond to this, because what we want to do is prevent the murder, not just investigate murders. And for that reason, we opened 6 DV centers last year. Equally as important as opening centers where we can deliver those services and those interventions is to have our members, particularly our supervisors, aware of our policies, aware of the support structures that exist outside of the JCF also, and being able to use the tools, use the law, use the information available to get better outcomes for our citizens who have these kinds of issues. And so it's very important. At the same time as responding to high violence, responding to what's happening internally, we're responding to domestic violence. When I left there, I went to meet with 55 officers who were just trained as school resource officers. The schools are opening up, back to face-to-face, conflicts occur. So we are responding in a very significant way to this challenge that we're facing. So 55 officers just went through training to equip them to get involved in this issue in schools. So part of that is to respond as law enforcers, but an equally significant part of that is to be mentors to the students in the schools. And the officers I spoke with, they definitely saw themselves as that and providing that service. And some of them are, one of the constables is actually running one of our police youth clubs. So it's important that we respond to that as well. This is what your force does. We are an integrated police force that is delivering every single service that policing can offer to a country in Jamaica. That's what we are. That's who we are. This investment that the government is making in the JCF, we have to ensure as an organization that we give a higher than expected return on this investment. And I think we have the men and women who are capable of doing that. This is not just this in isolation. This is part of creating a police force that the country needs, wants, and deserves.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.